How's it going, YouTube? Coming in today with another video, and today what we're going to do is going to be sequencing. Now, sequencing is the most important thing in Yu-Gi-Oh! Honestly, this is something that can just win you games outright, just for no reason at all other than you sequence your cards better than your opponent. And, this is one thing where you see a lot of hand traps here, but I'm about to blow your mind with information if you've never heard this before, because there's going to be very specific interactions that you can do, which seem insignificant, but they really can win you a game and gain you a lot of advantage. If you haven't already checked out my sponsors over at Imperium, Dragonshield, Gem, Cloud, RW, Grimoire, or Arla, definitely go ahead and do so all down below in the description. Also, check out my new playmat over on Imperium Duelist. I would appreciate it. Thank you all so much, and we'll just hop right on into the video. Now, D-Shifter's at 1, but that doesn't mean that it's not really impactful, and it does not mean that this application of knowledge can't be applied elsewhere. So, if you have D-Shifter, let's say that you're playing Malice, it's post side, you're going first, and you have D-Shifter, it's draw phase. Are you just activating D-Shifter, or are you waiting on your opponent and waiting to, like, standby or main phase? Now, this is a really important question, because if you're going to be dropping D-Shifter immediately, you just go draw phase, shifter. Your opponent doesn't really have to do anything here, especially if you're in the mirror, or let's say their deck auto folds to shifter, and they have other hand traps that can keep them alive. So this is something where you don't want to activate shifter right away. I'm always going to be like, draw phase, anything here. And my opponent sometimes will be like, activate Lancia or activate Fulos, which is great because then you can go, cool. Anyways, after that, activate D-Shifter. And a lot of times your opponent just wasted a card and now they're under shifter. And there's a high chance that shifter's just going to skip their turn, which is great. And it's all because you waited. And sometimes you can even just go standby phase just to really check to see if your opponent has anything, right? You can just go draw phase, anything, standby phase. So go wait in the draw phase. And a lot of times too, when you ask anything here, your opponent is usually going to double check things, right? Like they're going to double check their hand, double check their field, their grave, and they'll be like, actually, I would like to activate something here. So that's something where that is really powerful to do. Just kind of waiting it out a little longer before you activate your cards to get your opponent to activate cards first to get them to pseudo waste cards, which is great. Having shifter is still really important, and you will still see it here and there. It's going to be around, it's a one of, and it's just like call by. If you get hit with call by, you're like, oh, I guess I got hit with call by, right? The other thing that I've been seeing a lot, and please don't listen to other people right now about this, it's just actually so dumb to even say this, but March Hare is now a card, and if your opponent has any Malice name and a March Hare in their hand, please do not wait till main phase to activate Lancia to the first effect that's going to banish, because exactly field spell being at 2, or like normal summon Dormouse, right? Or even like Chessy Cat, I guess, being like effect, and you go chain Lancia. What if your opponent just goes chain March Hare, banish another name on a hand? Now there's 3 bodies on the board. I've heard so many people be like, oh, just wait till main phase and activate Lancia. It's so much better. It's not. It's not. Just drop it in draw phase. There's no reason not to. Just throw it in draw phase, especially because of March Hare now. There's been a lot of things like that lately that I've just been like, there's no way, right? Like, there's no way. So kind of going to a different angle now about sequencing. What happens when you open one starter? Doesn't really matter what deck you're playing. You just have one starter, and you have 2 Fua and like other hand traps, right? I'm personally just passing turn. If this is turn 1, I'm just gonna be like, go ahead. And the reason being is because, like, if you go normal summon Dormouse and they do literally any hand trap to this that matters, you're like, wow, both my Fuas are turned off and I only have Imperm and Ash. And now I have to set the Imperm. So if my opponent has any kind of pop effect first, then I just lose the Imperm. So it's just really not optimal at all. If they're on like a 60 card pile, maybe. If they're unbranded, again, maybe. That deck is not really known for hand traps. They still could have it, but they're not really known for them. So that's something you have to make the judgment call on. I'm just passing with double Fua because I'm going to drop 1 in draw phase, always. If I have 2, I'm always dropping 1 in draw. If you're against Ryzeal and you only have 1 Fua, I'm holding it till main phase, so when my opponent goes Ice Ryzeal, you can chain the Fua. Otherwise, I'm just dropping it in draw phase, especially if it's like Ryzeal Mitsurugi, because usually they'll start with like an extra Ryzeal. It's a lot less consistent to get to now, but like still, I want to make sure that I just am hitting them early and outplaying it like a talent, right? But you do want to drop a Fuwa early, and then if your opponent goes like Summon Lurie, you're not going to drop the other one yet. You're going to let them go into Requiem. You're going to go ahead and draw a card. And then a lot of times your opponent will just pass back if they feel like they're in a good position. If they're not in a great position, they might use the Requiem there. Then you'll chain the other Fuwa, and you'll draw 2. So what's important about this, though, is that you don't want to activate double Fuwa to a Requiem effect, right? Because what happens when your opponent goes Cross Out or Call By? Then you lost both Fuwa, and you probably just lost yourself the duel. So this is something where if you have double Fuwa, you can pass pretty confidently. You can drop one and draw, and even if it gets ashed, you still have the second one. And as long as you have cards that you can draw into, or you have other hand traps in your hand prior to, you're never really too concerned about passing to your opponent because you're going to be able to stop them during their turn, and now they're under Fuwa, so how many draws do they really want to give you? And I said this before in a different video. It's the threat of Nibiru, even if you're not playing it, it's the threat of it being there that they don't want to give you too many draws because you could draw into it and just wipe the board. This was just a quick video from me today, and I do hope that you enjoy this. I just wanted to get this piece of information out there because I see a lot of people miss sequencing, and I think that it's costing you a lot of games. So definitely take this in consideration when you go to your next duel. And I hope that you'll have a wonderful night, and I'll catch you on the next video. Thank you.